Welcome back everyone to the Museum of Pinetopia, where today we are going to build the portico for the front entrance, and I need to decide what I want to do with that. First off, I want to get rid of this cobble, and we are going to replace it with another more suitable material. For the moment, I'm thinking about polished granite to match what I have on the edges there. And let's see how it looks, and if I don't like it, then we could always change it later. I think that this looks a lot better, so we'll go with this for now. Originally I was thinking of having a stone stairway going all the way down to here, but I wonder how it would work if I did it in grass. And I did start clearing out this area here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have it gradually come down, 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 and let's see how far up and down we need to go. So this is the, 63 is the base level that we need in there. We're at 71, so we need to go down by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, easiest way to count that would just be start right here. We are at 4. Okay, 152. And over here we are at 172. Alright. So I'd say down 2 to 1. So that means I think we should just go out 2, then down 2, out 2, down 2, etc. And I think that will give us a nice gradual decline down to there. And I'll also have to try to work it around so that I'll have it gradually also maybe, I don't necessarily need it to go gradually down the hill to there, but at least we'll need it to work smoothly with whatever level it is on. So therefore we're going to go here, so I have 2 here, and then from here we'll just go down 2 each way. Maybe I'll have 3 or 4 here, and then start up here in the count. This is the closest part of the shoreline to the museum, so we will count 2 from here. Dig this out here. We are not quite to the center there, so let's see if we could do this from the center area. That I think would be the most important part for the approach. That means there'll be a great deal of digging. I wonder how long this shovel's going to last. I think that this is much better. So it goes down nice and smoothly all the way down to here. And if we go from this line right here, we just go up 2 forward for every one up until we get up to here where we have everything a little bit more smoothly. And what I'm going to do is I am going to have a bit of a stairway, a more gradual one instead of the usual Minecraft steps, going down in the center area, but the rest of it I'm going to leave as grass. And I think that would be a really, really nice effect. Now, I will, of course, need to smooth this out so I could have this move up here gradually, probably from, actually I think that this is a good line right here to be the maximum down here. I could then have it gradually go up as a hill up in that direction. Then I think I have a nice good landing area down on this side. As for the portico itself, how do we just start everything nice and simply by just creating a roof section like this, going one out from the where the columns are. We'll go one out from the columns like this, then out like, okay, let's do it from here. Yeah, out like that, and then we can have this. Oh wait, actually I better put this wood in right here first. And once I do that, we can have the columns and do that, and of course have that all covered up in there. And let's see how that looks. From there, we can decide what to do next. It looks serviceable, though also it's a little bit plain, so I will need some decoration here in order to give it a little bit of life. And one of the things I need is to think about lighting. Now, currently inside, I just have some torches around here, of course, plus the shroom lights that are on the floor. But along the walls, I have just torches on top of some sconces. And what I really need to do is to create some lanterns. I think some lanterns will look a lot better, especially out here. And I also need to think about the sign, because we need a sign up here saying Pine Ridge Museum. And I'm wondering, what type of sign should I make? Now, the only way I want to get one large enough is to start working with banners. So maybe I could have a series of banners, Pine Ridge Space Museum, and see how that works. And that means to work with the wool farm and get a great amount of wool with an appropriate color on it. Because I don't think black wool will quite work for what I want to do here. For now, I thought perhaps I'll try some magenta banners, and on top of that have a blue foreground on them and see how that works. So I'm going to be collecting magenta wool for quite a while in order to get a nice collection of that so I can make as many banners as possible. Where are my shears? I can't find them, so perhaps that means that I broke my last set of shears and it's time to make a new one. So let's do that. Start shearing sheep, and I will have to wait some time for the wool to regrow, and then we could get seriously on the sign. But let's have a little look at where I am on going down to the beach and making this a smooth transition over here, because right here I had a cliff, I believe, when we were here earlier at the start of this. So right now it's a little bit squarish on there, and that's a little bit off. So maybe I could round off some of these corners in order to make it better. Now I would like the portico to be facing something that's down there, so I would probably have to carve out a little bit more space down on this side if I'm going to go and round it out a little bit. I don't want to go too far because I would like to keep this area right here for my growing of the shrooms and the like. As for the steps down from the portico, what I will be doing for that is using some stone bricks for that. So the first step on this, I'll just head on that way, and then we'll then step out one at a time on like here. So we'll be going down half steps, so it's only going to be a half slope. Well, here is a quarter slope on here at the top of it. We'll be going down on a half slope all the way down to here until we get down into our little boat landing area, which means I'm probably going to have to move that sugar cane that's over there. I think this will work. A nice gentle slope going up to the top where we reach the portico and the museum entrance and come inside and see the wonders within. Good. Now, I need to start to more seriously think about the sign. Most likely, I'll be using several standard Minecraft signs throughout the museum, but on top of that, the large sign at the front is going to be made with banners, particularly magenta banners, which is why I bred all of those magenta sheep. Well, actually, I dyed them because I bred them while they were still black sheep. Now, I'll also be needing a contrasting dye. And at first I was thinking of using blue for those, but I decided maybe lapis and cornflowers are going to be not readily available. So as such, maybe I'll use a different type of dye instead. But I have to decide, of course, use what's the easiest one I can get. That is, of course, naturally the bone meal, which can be turned into white dye. So I will try it white at first, and if not, then we could try some other colors that we have throughout here. Now, unfortunately, bone mealing the area, while this section does guarantee to give me alliums, it also tends to give me a great deal of grass. Oh well. I don't feel like coming up with a full new Minecraft alphabet, so I am going to be using one that was posted on YouTube by Farmer Girl Laura. Now, I decided to use hers because she gives several options for several of the letters. So therefore, if there's one style that you prefer over another, then you might find a style that you like in hers. So let's then get to our first letter, which is going to be D. I'm only going to do one of these on camera, and we'll just do the rest of them off camera afterwards. So let's say we took a magenta banner, and then we'll be using white dye for this one. Now, in some of them, you will be going back and forth between dye colors on this, but the letter I is rather straightforward in what it does, in that we just have a chief fess up on top, and then we also have a base fess down on the bottom for the other side. Then a let's see, we are looking for, oh yes, and then we have a white pail. Good. And that one is pretty much straightforward, because then all we have to add to that afterwards is a border. Most of the now the border, of course, will be the same color as the banner. So 3 of them, all the main things were white on them, and the border then is magenta. And so that is a nice, easy one to do. For some of the others, you have to go back and forth between the colors in what you are doing. There is another matter in creating these things, and that relates to what do you do if you have a multiple with the same letter. In that case, let's have a look at the letter U, where let's say we had a U, we did this, and then we did the same thing on the other side, and then at the bottom, I always had trouble remembering all these names. I still need to work on that a little bit. So there we go to the one that's on the bottom. So the U is a very, very straightforward one. Then we could just add a magenta border and we'll be done. So that gives us a U. Now, since there are 2 U's in museum, all we have to do is use our crafting section in order to create a copy of it. Just put that and one of the blank magenta ones and we've done. M-U-E-U in museum. So we just need an S, an R, and a G, and we will be done. There you go. All of the letters for the full name. Though, of course, we don't want them here. We want to bring them outdoors at the museum front. If I counted properly, this is the starting space that I need to use. So let's head up here Also go out a little bit this way, and let's see if we get our sign operating properly. Pinetopia. I guess that's as far as I'm going to go out on that set of stairs. Now we can work on the rest. Got one that way and several more in that direction. So now I think we should be able to finish this up. D, G, E. Right. Then we get this little here, and then we can just spell museum. M-U. S E U, and the last one I have to stretch over, and that should give us the completed sign. Oh. Alright, we'll just grab all of that and then have a look at it to see how it looks. Pine Ridge Museum. Alright. Nice and centered. So that's going to be the main sign in there. Probably had a couple other smaller signs over here using conventional signs. And I am definitely going to need some lights on the side of the entrances. For the small signs, I'm going to use spruce, and I'm choosing spruce because that's what matches with my doors. Now I'm probably going to have to dye this in order for it to show. What would be the best dye to use? How if I start with white or magenta and see if one of those works? And if it does, great, and if not, maybe I'll have to use a little bit of experimentation. Let's start on this side. Oh, right here. We could say Pine Ridge Museum, established 2023. All right. How's that look? All right. Maybe, maybe not. Let's compare this to. Yeah, I think that works better. All right, so we'll go with that. So now I just have to duplicate it so that we will have a copy on each of the pillars. And if I decide I don't want one on each of the pillars, I can always remove the extra ones. All right, that's 2 of them, and 2 more to go. I wonder how this will look if we line this path with trees. I could start down here, and then on every other level I could add another tree so that I have 1 tree of each of the types that you have in Minecraft. We could try that. Now, I don't have a mangrove yet, but I can at least handle the other 7 types and just reserve a space for the mangrove. I will try this in alphabetical order from the pier that's going to be here eventually all the way up to the top. So let's start out with acacia. All right. Good. I think that's a nice distance. Then we can have birch. Birch should be fairly straightforward. Okay, good. Then we go up to here. That's it. Right here would be a good place to go. Now, oh, yes, right here we go. Cherry. Now, cherry can get large regardless of what you. Oh, okay. Let's see, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So it looks like we have to be in steps of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Well, so much for that idea. So Alright, how about on this level we have 2. Then maybe on this level we have 3 of them. Oh. How about if I put down the wrong item? There we go. Let's put this up here. Okay, it looks like that's interfering with it. Oh well, that kills the entire plan. I will need to do the tree display at a later time, but for now, I will create a sapling display, and that will have to stand in instead until I manage to find a way in which to get the trees to go into various areas around the museum. That will be a long-term goal on the thing. But for now, I'll just add it to the display indoors. And we could have an acacia sapling, a birch sapling, a cherry sapling, dark oak sapling, jungle sapling, mangrove will go there someday, oak, and then finally spruce. Yeah, it'll work for now. I think that this looks much better, so we'll call the front maybe not completely done, but at a good milestone. Which means next I want to work on another display area that I really haven't done much with yet, and that has to do with the nether. Now, I was originally thinking, oh, the nether is just going to be an off-limits thing that we're not going to worry about or anything like that, but I think that we should sort of create a little touristy area inside the nether. I know our nether isn't much, but maybe that's best when you're going to be taking tourists there. We'll see what we can do with it in the next episode of Museum of Pine Ridge.